Um, as I was saying, this indicator here basically shows liquidity, the bid and the ask. Um, this is the one I've been basically using most recently. I just started using it. Uh, but I just like to have it here to look at, potential areas where we might have some large orders waiting. For example, here, this is, today's session. It opened here, and so far we're going over here. Um, you can see that, we reached a low of, well, actually not a low, but we had, our first bounces over here around 42.20, 45.25, I'm sorry. And you can see how there's some liquidity over here. Um, so the way I use this is when there's a lot of liquidity, basically a lot of these numbers showing up over here, you know, I can tell if the market might want to go to a certain area to catch that liquidity and then, make a move. For example, yesterday, I sent some alerts for the group. Like we were, might want to go lower and then, maybe rip up or stuff like that. And yesterday, I was waiting for the market to make a move down, which I think was, where was this? I don't remember which alert that was. Oh, here it is. 44.98. I told them the group that I was waiting for the market to touch 44.98. Actually, not this one. Let's use horizontal one. 44.98. Yesterday on 44.98, we had a couple large orders waiting down here. And we touched, and eventually this became supported. I entered longs here, and I was initially looking for a short, move, but as soon as I saw this wick, I had to change my bias down here. I saw this level being supported. I saw, this liquidity get swept, and no, basically no bearish price action going on here. You can see how, we had one wick almost touched the level, drastic move up. Then we moved down again. We touched and went past 44.98 and got bought up immediately. And then we had, this price action. Very sudden bullish momentum right here. And this is the 5-minute time frame. So these are 5-minute candles. So as soon as we touched this level, we had this massive bounce from 44.98 to 45.06. It's about $7-8 in, almost instantly in about 10 minutes. So as soon as I saw that price action on this pullback, I decided to go in with some longs. And I think I took profits around over here, just above this. I paper handed, of course. But we had about a $12, $15 move to the upside. And I told the group that I was expecting a 45.10, 45.15 retest. And that eventually happened. We had the 45.10 retest, move back down, found some support near VWAP for those of you that like using VWAP. And then we proceeded to move another $5, $6 up to retest 45.15. Now, guys, and it's very important to have logical, and you can see how, this indicator basically changes as you move it along, the charts. You can see the liquidity compared. If you compare this to this over here, I mean, you can see what I'm talking about, right? Like the amount of liquidity down here compared to this over here, that's what I was saying, it's gonna take a lot for the market to change direction if you don't have something like this over here. Does that make sense? I'll share the name in a bit. crackhead. But does this make sense, guys? Like when you see this, liquidity down here, then you see this over here. What is that telling you? So for example, what is that telling me? Okay, so first of all, we had a data gap up. Okay, that to me is telling me there's bullish momentum. Then and let's come over here. Okay, so we had, and let me make this a bit larger. Okay, so we had a data gap up, right? Cool, awesome. We know that there's bullish momentum. Orders got left behind. Correct, Bernie. There's orders left behind down here. So we might see something happen as we come down here. When will that happen? We don't know. We'll just have to be ready for for it to happen. So basically we had a gap up. Okay, that's one of the reasons to think that we have potential bullish momentum. I'm not sure if you guys have watched my webinars or basically my YouTube, but I like to usually wait 1 hour after open, which is the initial balance, to see what's going on in the market. What's the possible move for the day based on the initial balance, which is the first hour after open. So we opened on this candle and the initial balance closed right here. Okay, so what did I look at today? So first of all, we had, of course, the gap up right here. We had a gap up. Let me change the color of that. Something a little bit more bright. So we had the gap up right here. And then we have the initial balance. I'm going to paint this in, I guess we can do white, but like that. Okay, so we had a gap up, which is bullish. Initial balance that basically rejected yesterday's highs, which is, this area right here. I mean, we didn't even touch it after initial balance. We touched it at open, but we didn't even touch it over here. Okay, so that's another reason for me to go, a bit bullish for the day. What else? Okay, so we had the gap up. Volume profiles didn't even budge to go near this. Okay, so if we measure yesterday's point of control to today's point of control after initial balance, and actually let me hide the volume profile. You guys saw over here that the point of control was around this area, right? Around the yellow line. So let me do a volume profile from here to here so you can see the point of control just from this area right here. Okay, so we have our volume profile for the initial balance. So let's say, this hasn't happened. We've only seen this, 1 hour past, the market is being supported. We had a gap up due to data. We had a wick down to yesterday's highs that got supported. Now, and I really don't measure, but, we're just going to measure to see how far away we are from, yesterday's point of control. And if we measure, we have about $20 or 0.5% move from yesterday's point of control. And after the initial balance happened, I did not see a reason for the market to move down. Why? Bullish data, bullish momentum, gap up, initial balance is looking pretty bullish. We're pretty far away from yesterday's point of control. I mean, I really don't see a reason to short the market today until we, see a change in momentum, which we haven't seen today at all. So, that's one of the reasons why I was bullish for today and actually missed most of the this chop over here because I was outside the house. But as soon as I got home, I, immediately saw this going on, did all my analysis on the charts, took a quick view on, let me close this, on the heat map. How's the heat map looking? I mean, it's looking extremely bullish if you ask me. When we look at the heat map, this sector is pretty, strong in holding. I mean, technology is absolutely ripping. We got some retail holding. I mean, if you look at the overall market, it's not extremely green, but it's green enough and flat enough to the point where, you would have to find something that would change the market direction. It could be like a huge area of liquidity, or it could be like a catalyst, but I don't think we'll get a catalyst today until until maybe tomorrow. I think tomorrow there's more data. I'm not 100% sure, but it would either be a catalyst or a major level of resistance where we would have to see, liquidity just add up. And so far, we haven't seen that liquidity add up over here at the highs. So that's why I was saying that we might see, something different somewhere around here, maybe near 45.40, 49.50 maybe. But so far, we haven't seen anything. We haven't seen anything, like this form up here. And okay, let's see. Now let's go to the questions. How do you discern liquidity? What does discern mean? I don't know what that question, that word means. I'm sorry. English isn't my first language. I don't know some of the words, but if anybody can tell me what discern is, does he mean decipher? Like, how do I decipher where liquidity is? I think Nathan left. Okay, so decipher. So it's just it's not rocket science. You have to see something like this start forming. Of course, it's not going to be as big as this, but you need to see like something like this start forming. You don't. And let me. How do I? Oh, annotate. Okay, I have this here. Okay, so I can write on this. Oh, awesome, awesome. So you need to see something like this forming. Can you guys see that? You need to see something like this, but like up here. Or maybe up here, it depends on where it starts forming. What is this chart you're looking at? What chart? Sorry, this one or this over here? The middle? But which one? This, the Tradeovate, or the Trading View chart? You pay extra on Tradeovate for liquid map. For this, well, this is part of my live account. How do I turn this off? Oh, hold on. Okay, it's working. Okay, so this is part of my live account basically. And for this, you do need level 2 data. Otherwise, it won't work. But yes, you do need level 2 data for this. Otherwise, you won't be able to use it. And let me tell you how to. Look, this is the indicator right here, and I'm going to show you how to basically activate this indicator. You go to this little tab here. It says indicators. Click on it. Then you go to explore community indicators. You go there. Then you go to type to filter. You can just type jigsaw. And it's right here. Recent bid ask volume. Yes, for level 2 data, you have to pay. I think if you only use GME data, I think it's like $16 just for GME data, which has ES in there. ES and NQ. But this is an indicator right here. And once you find it, you have to click install over here. And then once it's installed, it'll tell you if you want to disable or enable the indicator. And you just go on to that. Then once you install the indicator and have it all set up, you exit this page, you go to indicators, and then you go find this one right here. It's a double D or DD. You click on it, and then it'll show the indicator right here. Now, one thing that I need to tell you guys is this indicator does not work on the 15-minute. Well, earlier that it wasn't working. Oh, it is working now. Funny, it wasn't working earlier. But I think when you go to larger time frames, it stops working. Nope. That's weird. Yesterday and today it wasn't working. Now it's working. I guess you can use it on any time frame. Looks like it. Oh, or not. I guess it's the zoom settings. That's so weird. But yeah, so you just have that in mind that I guess as you move the chart, the indicator might disappear. So you need to have that in mind. And I like using it here on the 5-minute. Because if you're using on larger time frames, like this will start getting a little bit more cramped, and it'll start looking like more liquidity. Wonder if you can use it on the daily. Let's see. Then you have to compress this to be able to view it. That's weird. Not sure how this one works on a daily. Oh, there it is. But yeah, so this is why you want to use it on the smaller time frames. So you'll have stuff like that. So maybe max 15-minute time frame. What books, YouTubes that got you to be this educated? And got you to be this educated with trading. Honestly, my favorite book of all times, and I actually consider it my Bible because I trade mostly price action and momentum, is the volume price analysis by Anna Colin. And you haven't watched her webinar, you should definitely watch it. Jadon was, able to get Anna Colin herself to give us a webinar. How cool is that? So, you can watch the webinar and definitely, take a read of that book. I've read that book 3 to 4 times, and it's really changed the way I read the market as far as, price action and momentum. I think it's a great introduction into technical analysis. And basically, new traders and more advanced traders will always be using the techniques that Anna teaches in her book and on the webinar. Let's see. So I think I got all the questions. I showed you guys how to get the indicator. I showed you guys why it was bullish for the day. Now I'm going to show you guys the scalp that I took earlier. And I'm going to have to use, crap, how do let me make this, I need to move this a little bit. It's not letting me access the settings because the zoom tabs are on the way. Okay, there it is. So let me show you guys really quick. So I was actually, scalping NQ earlier. Let's see. Where was this? Was it right here? Yeah, it was right here. So this was the basically what's it called? The ES breakout of the structure it made basically. Okay. So, and I like using, volume profiles to see, where the possible edges of the, how could we call it, channel, I guess, are forming. And if you don't like using volume profiles, you can just, draw your lines. Like, we have a channel right here. Where is this thing? Here it is. I think this one will work fine. Nope, didn't work. But you can just draw your lines, basically like this. You have your level of resistance, your level of support for the session. This was the first breakout. So all I did was, and you guys can see how the cursor moves along with ES and then Q, right? Like if I move my cursor on ES, you can see how it moves on NQ. Can you guys see that? You can see the white line moving on both charts, right? Okay, awesome. Okay, so let me show you something really quick. And let me draw on here. Let me turn off this magnet. We're good to go. So look at this right here on the 5-minute. And not many people will catch stuff like this because they don't, read price action enough or pay enough attention to price action to be able to find, these little things that you can use to get some really nice scalps. So after the breakout of this resistance here, basically you had a really nice bullish candle here on ES, right? Then once we broke out, we had basically a retest, which is this pullback. Okay, so on ES, it had a really nice pullback. But if you look at NQ, NQ didn't move that much to the downside. It was holding pretty well. So what I did is I grabbed one contract of NQ on the first red candle moving down. Waited a little bit, NQ moves a little bit lower, and I added another, I think, contract somewhere over here. Okay. And then I was watching ES, just basically moving sideways. Okay. So I see, and I keep seeing this, and I wasn't seeing, much momentum to the downside pickup. And once I, saw NQ move back down over here, I added another 2 contracts for a total of 4 contracts on NQ, 4 long contracts. And this was happening as ES, was trying to move to the downside, but I wasn't seeing much momentum build up to the downside, as after this candle, basically there was, no indication of a move lower. You can see on the volume here, just not looking all that great. And the volume didn't pick up. Then once we had, this move down, right after that, we had a little rip to the upside. And look at what happened on NQ. Just on that candle where ES moved like $2, NQ moved up about $25. So I was able to catch basically that whole move to the upside on NQ just from, this little analysis that went on right here. And I'm really not sure how much of a percent that would be on QQQ, but like we could take a look at QQQ and see how much QQQ moved. I don't like saying QQQ. I'm just gonna call it the Qs instead. And let me delete this. I haven't charted NQ in a long time. So if we go here, NQ moved about about 60 cents on that move. I'm not 100% sure how much gains that would be. Let me turn on my MacBook's fans. It's starting to sound like a jet fan. But do you guys see, why I took this little scalp here? I mean, and that's the only trade I took today. That's the only one I liked. Honestly, I haven't liked much of today's price action because we haven't built, good enough momentum to the downside. And, the overall sentiment, I think, is still bullish until proven otherwise. And so far, there has been no proof or evidence of a possible reversal just yet. So, for the meantime, I'd rather wait and see what happens. And I'd rather not go long and try to diamond hand for the day until I see, momentum pick up to the upside or to the downside. But does this explanation make sense? This, why I took this little scalp here? And I wish I could have, called out this one, but I just didn't know how fast it was gonna move or how soon it was gonna happen. So these I rather just keep to myself, as there's a delay between me sending the message and then a delay between you guys reading, and then more delay between you guys, reading and sending the order. So, there's some delay between me pressing buy and you pressing buy. So I'd rather, and not only that, but also you guys have to do your, analysis of the market and see, okay, you know what, I'm liking this setup, or I'm not liking this setup. So there's some delay between, the information shared from me until you guys receive it and analyze it, of course. But yeah, that was pretty much it, guys. That's all I wanted to show you guys today. Wish I could, share more on today's session, but there really isn't much to share today. Also, someone asked me about the volume profiles. This is not volume profiles, guys. On TradeDebate, this is not volume profiles. This over here is volume profiles, and the indicator is the periodic volume profiles, which is this one right here, periodic volume profile. So that's the one I like to use. And if you go to my YouTube, you can see, the settings on how to set it up. I might have to make a short video specifically on how to set up just the indicator, just the volume profile. And I'll be working on that soon, just to have one video, very short video explaining how to set up this indicator. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. I'm gonna start recording so we don't have to make this recording too long.